gain control of the system ethically, because we're all ethical hackers. We're the digital heroes here. We're not the bad guys. My website will be an underground organization for hackers, but those hackers will hack for good. I'm giving you a chance to do everything that you want in order for you to break the system. Now, we are creating an era where hackers will be afraid of hacking you because you have a weapon.
Alexis, thank you so much, man, for reacting positively, coming to this interview, because I'm really excited to ask you a lot of questions. And when I first saw you last Thursday when you were speaking, and I was speaking as well at the HustleCon, the conference, I think your story is just, it's insane. You started your company at 18 years old, right? 16 years old. And you became a Startup of the Year last year,
right,
in Philippines. And can you just share some of the highlights from yours? So you started at 16.
Yeah. Back then, I was so techy. I am into programming, and I do not know anything about business. So what I did is I worked for free for Garin Technologies, the CEO of the Garin Technologies, Sir Kichigin. I worked for him for free in exchange for entrepreneurship mentorship. So what I did is I gained a lot of lessons from him. Then after that, I applied everything. I created a website when I was in college, way back when I was 17 years old. And I created that website, which is much more of illegal. So it's a very failed business idea, because in that idea, my website will be an underground organization for hackers. But those hackers will hack for good. So
like
that
white hat, right?
More of gray hat, because
okay.
We're hacking schools, we're hacking government website for free, but we do not have permission. I was recognized as, criminal or what. So I was kicked out in my college in MIT, Mapua Institute of Technology. Then after that, I was so depressed. I imprisoned myself in my room and read a lot of books about entrepreneurship in order for me to continue my passion in changing the world. Because I believe that there's so many bad hackers in here in the cyber world, and there's no one doing something in order to lessen those bad hackers. So what I did is I created my company back then, and I created a lot of white hat hackers in order to encourage the bad hackers to become a white hat hackers, making also the hacking or the ethical hacking good for them, or much cooler than bad hacker. So we created more or less 15,000 hackers after that. Then we created a lot of products about cybersecurity, bug bounty platform, and now this Hakuna, in order to give people, such as non-techie people, to a weapon to protect themselves from hackers.
So Hakuna, that's the app you invented. That was last year, right? In
2018.
Yeah, and it's. Can you just talk a little bit about it? Like why the name Hakuna? What is so unique about it?
So Hakuna comes from an African word, Hakuna Matata, which is no worries. So what we did is we combined the hack to Hakuna. So we changed it into HACKUNA, so that we can say that no worries in hacking. So that's the combination of the word.
And what the app does, basically. So it's only for Androids at the moment?
As of now.
Yes. And what is the uniqueness about the app?
This is the first mobile app that can track hackers accurately. For example, we usually connect to free public Wi-Fi, right? So when you connect to free Wi-Fi, you can now see. For example, in a coffee shop like this, you can see where's the hacker. what laptop is he's using, and the brand of the laptop,
Operating
the,
system,
yeah,
and everything.
location, address, IP address, MAC address, and so on. So it's a lot of information for you to track where's the hacker within the area.
Yeah.
So it's like giving you a weapon. It's like giving the people weapon in order to fight hackers, because we're creating an era where hackers will be the one who will be afraid, not you. Because mostly we are afraid of hackers, but now we are creating an era where hackers will be afraid of hacking you because you have a weapon. In the free version, you can just track the hacker 3 times. But you can block the hackers unlimitedly, but you can just trace the hackers for 3 times. Then after that, you have to buy the premium.
Okay.
So for example, you already used that 3 times, and you're in a coffee shop and someone hacks you. So now, you really want to know who is the hacker within this coffee shop. Maybe it's your friend, maybe it's your classmate back there. So the curiosity kills the people.
Yeah.
So they eventually they are urged to buy the premium.
Yeah.
Then that's the main action of most of our premium users.
So besides Hakuna, you have also Cryptos. It's a cyber security training company.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
You have. And what do you like? Why you decided to create the cybersecurity? Like, why decided to train others?
Actually, the cybersecurity training here in the Philippines back then, when I was younger, it can cost you more like 100,000 to 200,000 pesos
Wow.
just for a workshop. So
It's like $4,000 around.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
something like this.
yeah.
4,000.
So it's like it's not for everyone. Cybersecurity back then is not for everyone, and I want it to make those kind of workshops for everyone, because cybersecurity is for everyone. We live in human world, and we also live in the cyber world. So we need to know how to secure ourselves. That's why we created a much more affordable cybersecurity trainings, and it can cost you just 500 pesos to 1,000 pesos.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, because of that, we just made a revolution in cybersecurity here in the Philippines. So those big companies was urged to make their pricing very low in order for them to compete, because their customers go to our workshops, and we offer a much hands-on than them.
Yeah.
Because most of the professionals are just teaching by reading PowerPoints, which is very boring. So for us, we made it hands-on, practical, in order for your hands to get dirty, and for you to memorize everything and to learn everything much more better than those traditional.
So is it online, offline as well? How is people can
Actually,
learn about it?
We tour around the Philippines, and we also have training here in Metro Manila occasionally, and we are planning to create an online training in order to reach every people out of the Philippines.
So what about, I know like security is important, what about those like VPNs, for example? You can install VPN through maybe like extension, like Chrome extension, or just on your computer, and you can use VPN. Would VPN still protect you, or is it under the risk as well?
It's under the risk as well. Maybe it depends on the VPN, because some of the VPNs can be attacked using some kind of hacking attack, like SSL stripping, and there's a lot of ways. I mean, we can say that hackers there's no 100% secure in cyberspace. So hackers will do everything. That's why if you are in the cybersecurity industry, you need to be updated always, because every day there's a lot of threat. There's a lot of new techniques that goes in the hacker world.
Yeah, it's also interesting. I found that actually when you were 19, you published a book
Yes.
called Cyber Defender,
Yes.
right? And so you're like successful. You were hacking, programming, businessman, and now you're author as well. I don't know what will be next, but can you talk a little bit about the book? Why you decided to write about it?
Okay, so in there, I'm planned to those people who is reading that book, The Hacker's Mindset. In having a hacker's mindset, I'm giving you a chance to do everything that you want in order for you to break the system, the traditional path. So in there, I will teach you how to hack, but I will also teach you how to get out of the system. So I told that on the book, and I told some of my hacking journeys in the book, where I hacked some kind of system live, and what is the feeling of that, and going out of your comfort zone in order to explore, and in order for you to be, to be much of entrepreneur and hacker.
Yeah. Do you think that book actually helped you with some credibility, or were you invited to like maybe speak at the conferences or TVs?
Yeah, actually, some of the cybersecurity companies invite me in order to talk about the book, the principle of the book, because some of them are using my principle in the book in cybersecurity. Because in my book, I told them one of my principles in hacking, which is first, you must know how situation works. That's my principle. And number two, gain control of the system ethically, because we're all ethical hackers. We're the digital heroes here. We're not the bad guys.
Yeah. So you mentioned like there's also a side of dark side hackers where they try to hack for bad reasons, and you were actually at the beginning, you were also kind of like, I mean, you were in the gray hat, so in the between. What you can say for like dark hackers, like on the dark side, like why they're doing that? Why they're not on the white hat, or how they can be more on the white hat? What in order to bring them?
Number one is popularity. Most of those bad hackers hack for popularity, and most of them use code names, and most of them use Facebook page in order to gain fans, and they will hack something and gain fans, popularity. And number two, most of them are intellectual. They gain intellectual challenge. So they, for example, I hacked that bank, then. If I hack that bank, then I'm good. Then most of them are like that. Then number three, for money. So there's a lot of bank heists happen in the history, and most of them are hacking. So most of them are doing it for money. In the dark web, there's a lot of hacker organization, organized hackers that is doing this for money. So, for example, Hacker List. Hacker List it's a website where I'm also on that website back then, and people will pay you to hack someone or something, and in exchange for money, and most of them are legal. So most of the bad hackers, there's a lot of bad hackers there, and that's the main motivation of those kind of hackers.
And what makes them go into white hat? Like what, because maybe they realize in the long term this is not gonna maybe work out, because they'll be always under under radar, and eventually they could, I don't know, go to jail or just be, I don't know, something like that. So why did they decide to go in the white hat?
Some of them realize that going to the bad side of hacking is going nowhere. I mean, there's no kind of fixed direction in order for them to, gain a happy life.
Yeah.
So in white hat hacking, some of them gain a happy life where they can have a stable job, or they can have they can secure other people, they can do good to other people, they can gain much more money than those bad hackers.
Because they can also publicly talk about it, right?
Yes.
They can gain that publicity.
Yes,
as well.
yes. And they can gain credibility. I mean, legit credibility in the industry where everyone can respect them. Not just the hacker community, but also the executive and the other people, non-techie people. So maybe some of them realize that there's a lighter life than going into the bad side of the hacking.
Yeah. So just the questions about, for example, let's say I want to kind of like protect in terms of like my passwords and stuff. What maybe some basic stuff would you suggest for any businessman or just any user?
We have Hydra and Encrack. It's a hacking tool where they can crack passwords. However, if your password has special characters, numerical characters, alphanumeric characters, which is capital letters, it can go from decades to century, if ever that you use that kind of.
So when, for example, Apple or any other platform ask us to input the capital, especially because we always feel like, oh my God, we have to capital, special character, and all that stuff. So this is actually to prevent all of that, and we should really maybe change. How frequent we should change our passwords as well? What do you think about
maybe
that?
Quarterly.
Quarterly?
Yeah, okay. Quarterly. So it's the best thing to do in order for you to protect your Instagrams and.
So you're very busy, I assume. You're very busy. So how you find that balance between I don't know your work, your just daily life? Like, how do you build that discipline in you?
Okay. This is my secret. So for example, I created the Hakuna, right? So when I created the MVP of the Hakuna, minimum viable product of Hakuna, I trained some people to become much greater than me. Then, when they become much greater than me, I will stop working on that programming, and I will let them continue the job so that I can focus on another job. So, for example, after that, I will focus on teaching hacking, so that I can, I can focus on another thing. So after that, I can train another people to
run this
and to be greater than me in teaching hacking. And here's another secret: you don't have to teach just one people. You can teach 2 to 3 people. Why? Because we cannot predict if that person will leave your company today or the next day. So that you can have a backup plan where there's another people out there knows something. So it's one thing at a time. One thing at a time. So
it's very important you mentioned, because a lot of entrepreneurs sometimes they not afraid to delegate, but they want to keep to themselves their products, their services, what they're building. So what you mentioned is actually very good, because you need to be able to delegate very well, build a team, trust people, I assume, and like you said, mention, don't only train one person, don't rely on only one person that she's going to do everything or he's going to do everything, but train others at the same time, so you can build your an army of people who are going to help you. So we've been talking with Alexis yesterday and asked him if we can do live demonstration of hacking. So we're going to actually what we're going to use. So we're going to use Android phone, right? Android phone. And the program, Nikolai is gonna film. We're gonna use Android phone, right? What we're gonna make on it? What you will hack exactly?
So what we will do here is we will hack the webcam of this smartphone. Not just the webcam, but we will also hack the SMS and the location of this phone. So we will use here Kali Linux, and in here they're connected in the same network.
So your computer connected to the same Wi-Fi, and your phone is the same Wi-Fi. So that will allow a hacker to actually hack there. Okay.
So in here, if I press question mark, we can do a lot of things. So I can webcam snap, for example, you're using it.
Okay.
Then I will just use this in order to capture the webcam. Okay.
Whoa.
That's it. And I can also webcam stream you. So webcam, I can live stream you.
Wow. That might be not if you're using it, I don't know, in some places that might be great, but that's crazy.
Yeah. So here it is. It's live streaming.
Okay.
Hello.
Wow. And where is live streaming?
Just on the,
public-
hacker's
on
computer.
Okay.
So
the hacker's
don't worry.
computer. Okay. Yeah. So basically, if you're wondering this is actually just the power bank, because people don't see, but this is just the power bank. So it's actually there's no affection just to keep up the battery. So this happenings like he mentioned because it's connected to the Wi-Fi. This one connected to the Wi-Fi, and we're running the commands. So what else? So webcam. It's actually
Yeah, we
pretty
can
big.
also dump the SMS, call logs, and contacts of the phone. So we can just do this, dump SMS, and the SMS will go here. So let's go to files, and you can see that here's the SMS.
That will be just in a log file. Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
All of the messages is here.
Okay. It's big. I mean, because imagine like banks, for example, like they send those codes, those
Yes.
information.
Yes.
So you can literally just know everything.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So you can also hide the process. You can also record mic in order for you to record what they are
okay.
talking. Then
Wow.
you can screenshot. There's a lot of things. You can also play games in his phone in order for you to control it. So,
That's crazy. So, I mean, I think that's what Hakuna came into play. So
into place.
you can protect your phone, protect information,
Yes, yes.
make sure that the connection is secured as
Yes.
well. And I think this is nowadays. I think nowadays, from my experience, people not like they know that they're hackers, but they're not maybe estimating as high as that they're at threat, for example. So what you mentioned, for example, having more complicated passwords, having update them quarterly as well, and maybe don't store them publicly somewhere, maybe just store them on certain programs, stuff like that. So I think it's amazing, Alexis, what you're doing. Man, it's been just a pleasure, talking and gaining information. So I'm sure for a lot of people this will be very useful because security is important.
Yeah.
And when the hacker gets into you, it could destroy the whole reputation, your whole business, your whole just everything. So thanks to you guys who are on the white hat side and helping us to stay secured and to have those solutions to track bad hackers and stuff.